Yes, greetings, Bim. Yes, yeah, and your preview games for weekend a day enemy. In fact, we share fixtures anymore. And yeah, there from critical games be a Barcelona there. Yeah, 1-1. I mean, you record so na yesterday mobile subscribe to your channel na fe. Must share your videos na my and I mean, we show video no so as all commenting here so what's what doing about young komo nyina no we go to that comment section na nyina ya taking it from there. Na me abmo tina ewia in fact Saturday ewia there's a tough one so the City ground a game between Nottingham Forest and Manchester United. Sunday it's about 2 matches, one in the Europa League against FC Porto Owini, and then the other in the Premier League against Bournemouth Olusuinti. Nyame admo tina and I won the first Premier League home game and then the second Premier League game as manager of Bobo Kwai from Nottingham Forest. But how we see a comedy yeah bon komo kakra Kofi quick one on Otina and as a Saturday fixture so at 3 o'clock yanketi there's a games no times necessary time zones necessary and you 2 about 3 o'clock instead Ghana time and Otina area Saturday area 3 o'clock at City ground and Nottingham Forest up against inform Manchester United.
Yes, inform may be debatable maybe because just 3 games and Manchester United and consistent wins, but whatever be the case, in the last 3 games United is on form and I think they've had some good moments throughout the last 3 games, so give it to them, but enough to describe United say inform, but so here the 2 teams are clearly, I agree with you, say moving into this particular weekend, especially on Saturday afternoon, in terms of form there between the 2 teams, you give it to Manchester United. But I remember last season it was the same grounds. United lose by a goal to nil. It was a slim win for Nottingham Forest. But
last season only a double over Manchester United, the first time since 92.
Absolutely. And one thing that you says, I'll compare Forest form last season to this season. Clearly, you can see the difference. This is about the 3rd manager, Aoma Yuzi, so early in the season. So a no man for Forest, and playing against such teams with relatively a new manager, because they've been trying different managers, it's not working. At any point in time, especially on home grounds, no, you can expect really you see players are more try to change the narrative or more try some bema and almost because they are losing, so they need to bounce back to winning ways any idea. So I think that judging from that perspective, you can say that it looks difficult, but to be honest, we discuss a football match, you look at a lot of factors. Some of the key factors include the players and the managers that you are bringing on board. Maybe in terms of the Premier League, Sondijk experience more than Amorim, but in terms of achievements, when it comes to the 2 managers, I think that we share Amorim receiving in the free sport in Urbana compared to Sondijk. We can clearly see in terms of achieving something in the game, Amorim is ahead of Sondijk. But the point remains this: it is the Premier League. It is also a United side under Amorim. I feel no more try to change the narrative or more try to revive the spirit of the team. That's why earlier Nameka said it may be too early to say that United is on form because it's just 3 games, and we've seen that inconsistent performance from United in recent times. So moving into the game, I think every United fan can expect based on the in the last 3 games a bet to Asusa, but I think that even though you can say United a favorite moving into the game, you can also expect a very difficult game for Manchester United. Don't forget, say, whatever be the case, say Sean Dyche is citing the players up for the game. He can simply cite the two meetings between Forest and United last season. That, guys, these were people last season all the same venue. We could beat them even a one Kasomufie.
And but me sure so be concerned with the fact that United inclusions now shall say impact games, you know. Obviously Manchester United, but they near the same United and obviously on this season now.
Oh yes, but United is still United. Do you understand? And Ebia, like I said earlier, a form. And Forest form this season and the same as last season, right? But in football, history can be repeated. And one of the things that coaches cite ahead of games, especially when Okobo against a side in terms of character and pedigree, where you're ahead of you, is to cite previous meetings and how good you were in the previous meetings. Now they are psyching them up. I think one of the weapons from the game and the fact that we are underdogs, and that in every game like that, underdogs and that strength, say you can be surprised by any of the players at any point in time, because I say ni said they knew. But all in all, I think say I expect a different United this season, not because they've won the last 3 games, but because it looks like as a manager Nankasa psychologically is lifting himself up, and any effect on the players. And like you said, some of the big signings, no, I shall see any impact United team. So you can cite Mbomo, you can cite Cunha, and the rest. So for me, whatever be the case, United are a favorite moving into the game, and I don't see United losing. And you because Forest are that bad, but I see say the energy around the United teams is here, no, positive enough for them to build on it in that game on Saturday afternoon. No, and you require a point on beat me in the game.
Okay, now we share Forest. Impressive. This is just like you said earlier on. A team almost struggle. I mean, Nuno fired later on, Ange by Onoso Anyeye, and then he's been fired for Sean Dyche. Does it some way somehow put pressure on Sean Dyche to say also to be impressive, also to be improve, especially coming from a defeat against Bournemouth, also improve, and that energy, you know, beat me as per on to somehow surprise United in areas in now.
Well, two things. Sometimes it can push you to do more. Sometimes when you're careful, so it may malco form completely, right? You say one thing it will give me a positiveness. When you are winning, your spirit is high, and when you are losing, your spirit is down. And in this case, I think that this season, Forest is one of the teams. I'll be to me, I can say the spirit is down. So much so that some players like Hudson or Doemua last season, they were really playing well. No Crampo this season, it doesn't really, happen like a year last season for them. And it depends on how the manager is able to manage that situation. And how players never respond to whatever manager never can actually moving into the game on Saturday afternoon. But the point is that whether psychologically we are down or not, one thing that is key in the game is that on the field, do you have quality enough to do the job? And you're one of the key things you need. And based on that, put United there, put Forest there, you give it to Manchester United. And in the money here, a tough one for Sean Dyche.
Okay. Now the impact of Cunha, Mbomo, and to some extent Sesko on this United team so far this season, and the threat it's now opposed to this Forest side here then.
The fact that they've started playing well, especially Cunha and Mbomo. For me, Sesko is yet to really impress me. I say, me when the energy no field no so now. Yes, he might have scored some goals near there, but the energy, anyhow aggressive he is for the United situation, I don't like it. So here, Cunha attitude, we Mbomo attitude on the field, you see a lot of effort. You can see players who are really pushing to do something, and with the energy on the field, I don't see same on the part of Shesko. Maybe with time or be adapted, but it is a fact that in the last few games, Cunha and Mbomo, they are on fire and they are playing so well. And when it happens like that in the shirt of Manchester United, your spirit is high. It gives you advantage on any day. Don't forget that last season, Mbomo had double figures in terms of the Premier League goals, and so far he's not been disappointing at all at United. Same as Cunha. In the last game, he scored some brilliant goal and all of that. You are meeting players ahead of you in terms of quality, ahead of you in terms of platform, Omukuta, almost ahead of you in terms of the level of Obia spirit. And that is what Forest side, and especially the back line, be facing from the United attack. And that's why they will always start this game as the underdogs.
Final words, any prediction for this game?
In a worst case scenario, win or draw for Manchester United. Anything apart from win or draw will be very, very shocking and disappointing in my view.
All right, so Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock Ghana time, at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest versus Manchester United. Uzuhun is saying, share opinions on the comment section. Nafi, you know how I name it. Subscribe to the channel. That's it.